Do you know Hektor? Maybe not. Well, let's change that. Hektor is Lang Heyne's take on the elegant sports watch with an integrated bracelet, and this new version comes with a black dial. It's one of the most original watches in the integrated sports watch category, and we're going to have a closer look at the Lang Heyne Hektor II. Lang Heyne always names their watches after German kings or emperors from a long time ago. When you hear the name Hektor, well, it's understandable that you don't immediately think of a watch. There was George, Anton, Friedrich, and as of 2021 there was Hektor. That was the first Hektor, or maybe I should say Hektor the First. Well, now there's Hektor II. Hektor is Lang Heyne's take on the sports watch with integrated bracelet, and this is also the entry level of the Dresden-based brand. Lang Heyne is known for stellar finishing of their movements. Design-wise, they're always classical, maybe a little bit baroque. Certainly not modern or avant-garde. But it's all very coherent, and one of the brands you should certainly keep an eye on. We visited Atelier in Dresden last year and I was very impressed by the entire setup, the attention to detail, and as said before, the gorgeous finishing of the movements. When the Hektor came out in 2021, it was an important watch for the brand. Not only was it the first foray in the field of casual elegant sports watches with an integrated steel bracelet, but it was also its new entry level. But how do you build such a model while retaining the strong DNA of the classic models? Well, the answer is this slightly unusual, rather unique model that doesn't have much in common with the usual suspects in this segment. It's not angular or ultra sharp, it's not ultra thin either, and it does not feature a bezel with screws or multiple facets. It looks very good actually. In a way, knowing how crowded this market is, it's good to see something that stands out. But now it's time for Hektor to receive some upgrades. Most of the updates of this new Hektor II are to be found on the movement side, but let's first look at the design a little bit closer. Visually, Hektor II retains the same shape and case construction as before. And yes, it certainly breaks the conventions of the category with its case full of curves, which can be found on the domed bezel, the onion-shaped crown, the curved lateral guards on both sides of the case, and the domed crystal. The lineage with other watches from the brand is still visible in the connection between the case and the bracelet with the signature triple lock connection. Overall, there's a bit of a baroque approach to the design, which goes in line with the usual DNA of Lang Heyne. The Hektor II is a nicely proportioned watch, even though not ultra thin. It measures 40mm in diameter and just under 11mm in thickness, so it has a nice presence on the wrist and still remains quite comfortable. The fact that there's no sharp angles makes it pleasant to wear and touch. It's water resistant to 50m, which is enough for such watch, but a bit more would have been welcome. The dial is equally original and different. Hektor II features a galvanized black dial, while Hektor I was available in 3 limited editions in blue, grey and green. Its distinctive design elements are retained, and they say they were inspired by the petticoat. This can be found on the dial's texture with a repetitive pattern in the center, but also in the applied luminous hour markers. The chapter ring has a strong concentric pattern, adding a nice depth, and the hands are also quite unique with their styled arrow tips, but the most distinctive element is surely the petticoat-shaped cutout at 6 o'clock that mimics the design of bridges in the back and lets you see some of the movement's wheels underneath. As for the bracelet, you'll find a 5-link profile that allows the curvature of the case band and combines brushed and polished surfaces. It's closed by a butterfly clasp and is attached to the case with screws, and its shape doesn't allow for any aftermarket rubber or leather straps. There's also no micro adjustment system, which would have been a nice evolution, by the way. Now, let's take a look at what are the biggest changes for the second generation of Hektor, and that's the movement. Being the brand's entry-level model, the movement is slightly simpler and less intricate when it comes to finishing than what you'll find in a Friedrich, George or Anton. The movement is made by Uhrenwerken Dresden, or UWD, which is the sister company of Lang Heyne. Still, it's a very nice movement with a complex architecture and quite impressive design, with so many bridges visible. As you can see, it's a manually wound movement, which is always a plus as it allows a full view on the movement. However, for a sports watch, it's kind of odd, and maybe an automatic with a full rotor or micro rotor would have been a better fit. For this new generation, the movement has been refined. It now has a new bridge geometry and switches to a full central seconds bridge and longer finger bridges for the gear train. Also, it now incorporates a free sprung regulation using 6 eccentric rates to enhance the isochronism and timekeeping precision. Finally, it comes with a dual Inca fixed bearing for the escape wheel to reduce friction and improved rate stability. A nicely finished movement. All bridges are beveled and the top surfaces are straight brushed for a modern look. Most of the movement is made of rhodium plated brass, but the gear train and mainspring barrel are now made from untreated German silver, adding a nice contrast to the previously monochromatic caliber. This movement runs at a 3 Hz frequency and stores 46 hours of power reserve. There's no denying that the Lang Heyne Hektor II, just like the first generation, is a rather unique and original watch. It doesn't play with the same codes as the category's classics, which might be for the best. That said, it's a watch with strong personality that needs to be seen in the metal to be fully understood. A great deal of attention was spent on details of all elements of the watch, and the improvements made to the movement, which look quite spectacular, are a welcome addition. Overall, it's a watch for those who want something slightly different from the rest of the crowd. The Lang Heyne Hektor II with the new black dial is a limited run of 99 pieces and the price is set at 19,999 euros before taxes. Indeed, not cheap, but very much in line with the competition such as the Chapek Antarctique, the H. Moser Streamliner and the Speak Marin Ripples, to name a few of the other original takes on integrated sports watches. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you for the next video.